Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh. The nation of Yahweh and the tribe of Yehuda. This your brother Shem Yahweh ben Yahweh, the priest, the prophet, and the judge. Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and that's what I'm here doing in these last days. You can verify that in 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 15. Praise Yahweh. Hallelujah Yahweh. Hallelujah Yahweh ben Yahweh. Well, shalom, 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 family. We back with another video. Shout outs to Yahweh ben Yahweh's Uncovered Truth Broadcasting Network, where we talk about and reveal Yahweh ben Yahweh like you never heard before. Well, brothers and sisters, today we're going to be going into exactly what you see on the screen. This is chapter 37, the kingdom of YAHWEH and the cross, coming out of the book of the kingdom of YAHWEH. Well, family, as we all know, that Yahweh ben Yahweh is hated by the world as prophesied. And as the book say they hated me without a cause. Because a lot of detractors don't even have a reason to hate Yahweh ben Yahweh. He never gave them a cause. But because they are interested in negative narratives and reporting and popular headlines, they fail to do their own research. They fail to 2 Timothy 2:15 to study to show themselves approved instead of following the doctrine or the narrative or the report of men without doing their research. You know how rumors get started? Somebody tell me something, I don't even know if it's true, but I go tell somebody else the same thing that somebody told me that I ain't checked the fact check to see if it was true. So the report that you have on Yahweh ben Yahweh today, as it is this day, is all coming from Google and the media and the false narrative that was put upon Yahweh ben Yahweh in the 90s. The world don't know that Yahweh ben Yahweh was found not guilty. The world don't know that. The world don't know that before they found Yahweh ben Yahweh guilty of all those charges, that he was found not guilty of all charges and his followers in Miami-Dade County Court. I suggest you go and research that, and I'm going to be putting videos up to that court case where you could sit down for yourself and see Yahweh ben Yahweh in the courts going through the process.
In the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Dade County, Florida. Case number 92-18645A. The State of Florida versus Yahweh ben Yahweh. We, the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992, find the defendant Yahweh ben Yahweh not guilty of the offense as to first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. And the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and Dade County, Florida. Case number 92-18645B. The State of Florida versus Dexter Leon Grant, and known as Abiri Israel. We, the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992. Found the defendant Dexter Leon Grant and known as Abiri Israel not guilty of the offense as to first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. And the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Fayette County, Florida, case number 92-18645B, the state of Florida versus Dexter Leon Grant, aka Abiri Israel. We the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992, find the defendant Dexter Leon Grant and known as Abiri Israel not guilty of the offense as to kidnapping as charged in count 2 of the indictment. And the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Fayette County, Florida, case number 92-18645C, the state of Florida versus James Lewis Mack and known as Jesse Obed. We the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992, found the defendant James Lewis Mack and known as Jesse Obed not guilty of the offense as to first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. And the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Fayette County, Florida, case number 92-18645C, the state of Florida versus James Lewis Mack and known as Jesse Obed. We the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992, found the defendant James Lewis Mack and known as Jesse Obed not guilty of the offense as to kidnapping as charged in count 2 of the indictment. And the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Fayette County, Florida, case number 92-18645D, the state of Florida versus Ernest Lee James and known as Ahinadad Israel. We the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 17th day of December, 1992, find the defendant Ernest Lee James and known as Ahinadad Israel not guilty of the offense as to first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. In the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in Fayette County, Florida, case number 92-18645D, the state of Florida versus Ernest Lee James and known as Ahinadad Israel. We the jury at Miami-Dade County, Florida, this 12th day of December, 1992, find the defendant Ernest Lee James and known as Ahinadad Israel not guilty of the offense as to kidnapping as charged in count 2 of the indictment. So say we all. What's the name? Stephen Patrick Cowan. Members of the jury, you have heard me read the verdict.
See, brothers and sisters, the Bible say he was supposed to appear, and when he shall appear. When you go look up that word appear, it's going to take you back to appear before a tribunal or court. So Yahweh ben Yahweh, the Son of God, which is publicly documented, have appeared in the United States courts of America. We have these documents, brothers and sisters. It's time for you to open your eyes, open your mind, and open your hearts and hear this truth. Notice I said your hearts. You got to listen with your heart because that's where Yahweh put your other ear at. If you look at the word heart, you'll see the word ear in the midst of the word heart. Because that's how you got to hear this information with your heart. Not with your emotions, not with your feelings, not through biased perceptions. But you must have an open mind and understand that this is the reality of these scriptures. Praise Yahweh. Let us go. Chapter 37, the kingdom of YAHWEH, Yahweh, and the cross. Because you can't have the kingdom of Yahweh or the kingdom of heaven. See, the kingdom of Yahweh is synonymous to the kingdom of heaven. And you can't have heaven without the cross. See, the Son Yahweh couldn't bring forth this heaven. The Son Yahweh couldn't go this process. See, everything is a process. These things couldn't take place unless the Son of Yahweh, the Son of Man, who is the Son of Man, synonymous to the Son of Man. And that's what Yahshua kept pointing you back to in his teachings. He taught you what the Son of Man must suffer. He said the Son of Man must suffer many things. But you couldn't understand those sayings. So he said, you needed to let this sink down in your ears that the Son of Yahweh will be rejected and mocked and spit upon, rejected of the elders. He was trying to tell you what was going to happen to the Son of Man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, at his coming. Hallelujah. So, let us read. We opening up these the scrolls. These are teachings that you ain't supposed to know about. You ain't supposed to know that Yahweh ben Yahweh has appeared. Once you know that Yahweh ben Yahweh has come, you can understand why the plagues of America is intensifying. You can understand why we as Judah are rising, has awakened. You can understand why the rest of the world is coming into this truth. Why they beginning to understand and speak up concerning this truth. The Gentiles, our Gentile brothers and sisters, all the ones that believe in this truth, that want to be engrafted in, they are beginning to wake up and say what Yahweh ben Yahweh said they was going to say. Yahweh ben Yahweh said this in his teachings in the parables of the 11. He said, surely they shall confess we have inherited lies from our fathers. Jeremiah 16:19. He said, to all of my people get the knowledge that we are the children of Israel and the tribe of Judah. So Yahweh ben Yahweh made a lot of declarations, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to lay kind of like a foundation to open your minds up to these realities about what I'm about to read right now. Praise Yahweh. Yahweh ben Yahweh came pronouncing the kingdom of Yahweh is at hand. He said, stick your hand out. You think you got a lot of time? You don't. See, the kingdom of Yahweh is at hand. That's what he said in the Good Shepherd. Let's go. The establishing of the kingdom of YAHWEH is explicitly connected to the death of YAHWEH Bet No Sofit YAHWEH. That's Yahweh ben Yahweh on the cross of judicial murder in the U.S. courts. There is ample evidence, however, that he regards his death on the cross of the judicial murder in the U.S. courts and the resurrection from the tomb of Lewisburg Penitentiary as the necessary fulfillment of his messianic mission. Stop right there, brothers and sisters. The establishing of the kingdom of Yahweh is explicit, and it is connected to Yahweh ben Yahweh's death. That's why when you go read in Daniel 2:44 that Yahweh shall set a kingdom up which shall never be destroyed, brothers and sisters. Yahweh ben Yahweh came announcing the kingdom of Yahweh, which is the kingdom of heaven here on earth. Yahshua 1900 years ago taught you how to pray the Tefillah, taught us how to pray. He said, when you pray, pray like this. Our Father, Yahweh, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. See, thy kingdom come. See, the kingdom wasn't back then. He knew that this kingdom was coming. He knew that Yahweh ben Yahweh would be the one, would be the sign to usher in the establishing of this kingdom with the nation of Yahweh here upon this earth. Did y'all hear what I just said, brothers and sisters? See, when y'all read about the parallels of the man you call Jesus, Yahshua, JC, you reading about him talking about a kingdom. You read about them saying he had a church. He was the founder of the Christian church. That's what they report in their Christianity doctrine. But that was all a parallel to Yahweh ben Yahweh coming to establish and being the founder of his church, of his people, of his assembly, of his gathering. That's where you get Genesis 49, 8 through 10, when Shiloh come. To him shall the gathering of the people be. That's a futuristic prophecy that was spoken of in Genesis 49. Yahweh said he declared our end from the beginning. So he already knew that the son of Yahweh, who is Shiloh, hidden under the euphemism of Shiloh, the epithet Shiloh, the cryptic word Shiloh, they knew that Yahweh ben Yahweh, when he come, because see, when Yahshua came 1900 years ago, we ain't need that. That wasn't our day and time. It wasn't time yet. It wasn't the fulfillment of the Gentiles yet. The book saying to the fulfilling of the Gentiles be, when all is in. Yahweh ben Yahweh was the sign and is the sign of the end of their rulership. And that will be the starting point or the marking point of this awakening of Judah. That's why they got him in the encyclopedia as the Lion of Judah, as the one who came to bring us this information. Not Farrakhan, not Elijah Muhammad, not preacher and deacon such and such, not sister such and such, a prophetess such and such. See, all of these titles that everybody have amongst the body is cool. You waking up as Hebrew Israelites, you call yourself deacon such and such, bishop such and such, pastor such and such. All of those titles of offices is cool. But when the son, Yahweh ben Yahweh, come as the son, see, he come as the son of Yahweh, not as the pastor of Yahweh, not as the deacon of Yahweh, not as the bishop of Yahweh, but as the Son of Man. And Yahweh said that the Son of Yahweh ain't come to be ministered to. He came to minister. You see? Praise Yahweh. We get lost in Yahweh ben Yahweh sauce, man. There's so much here. So as we can see, Yahweh ben Yahweh came to establish the kingdom of Yahweh. Let's get this word established before we go any further. Let's get this word established. Because somebody had to come and establish or put it in motion. Define establish. To establish means to set up, create, or initiate something on a firm or permanent basis. Praise Yahweh. See, Yahweh ben Yahweh had to come, set up the nation of Yahweh, the foundation. He laid it right, didn't he? He had to come set it up and create. You know, when you take something and just create something out of thin air, bring something into existence that you know, it was there but you couldn't see it. But now it's visible. He had to come and create the nation of Yahweh or initiate something on a firm or permanent basis. That's why he said this kingdom shall never be destroyed, because this is something permanent. When he began to loose the seals thereof concerning what heaven is and concerning the nation of Yahweh and heaven on earth, and that the kingdom, you can't have heaven without Yahweh being the king of heaven, of the kingdom. You don't even know Yahweh is your king. So Yahweh ben Yahweh came to set this up, to set it in motion. The kingdom of Yahweh. It is explicitly connected to the death of Yahweh ben Yahweh on the cross of judicial murder. Now I know y'all was looking for somebody to be put up on a wooden cross, but that's not the case. Those that worship me must worship me in spirit and truth. That's the quote. So spiritually, this cross has to deal with a judicial murder in the courts, because that's the way you kill a person. Today you kill his character, you kill his image, you kill his reputation, you try to kill him mentally. See, in society. And that's what happened to Yahweh ben Yahweh in the courts. He got found not guilty in Miami-Dade County courts. Just like how it was in the Bible. Yahshua 1900 years ago had to go through 2 courts. You see? I ain't find no fault in this man. I don't want this man blood on my hands. That's what the judge said in Miami-Dade County. He found all of them not guilty. So they judicially murdered Yahweh ben Yahweh in the U.S. courts. This was all parallel to what was supposed to happen to the son of Yahweh when he come.
Tonight, Yahweh ben Yahweh is in a federal prison facility some 60 miles outside New Orleans. The self-proclaimed Son of God was arrested on Wednesday, charged with racketeering and giving the orders to kill 14 people. His attorney, Ellis Rubin, told a federal magistrate here that Yahweh ben Yahweh is the same person mentioned in the grand jury indictment. Until now, he refused to give his name. By identifying himself, it means he will automatically be sent back to Miami for a bond hearing and a face trial. For Yahweh ben Yahweh, the more immediate and difficult task will be to set bail. The government is expected to ask for no bond.
He should be allowed out on bond because he meets the typical criterion for bond. He has roots in the community. He's not liable to flee. He can put up a bond. And he is essential to a religion. He's the spiritual leader of many thousands of people. He's not going anywhere.
Several Yahweh followers were in New Orleans for the hearing. They stood up when Yahweh ben Yahweh entered the courtroom. Outside the courthouse, Elsie Hastings, who also represents ben Yahweh, said this.
Let me say to you that my client's not guilty, okay? And all we seek in this particular matter is a fair trial before an impartial judge and 12 reasonable men and women.
Yahweh ben Yahweh is said to be upbeat, that he wants a trial in Miami, and that he wants a trial as soon as possible. In New Orleans, Mel Taylor, Channel 10, Eyewitness News.
That he should be bound like a common thief. It's most unseemly, sir.
Jesus, it is not our intention to treat you as a criminal, but we want you to explain to this assembly the nature of your teachings. What is this doctrine you and your disciples are spreading through Judea?
I have spoken openly for all the world to hear. I have taught in the synagogues and in the temple. I have said nothing in secret. So, why do you ask me? Ask those who heard me. They are my witnesses.
Caiaphas, I've heard him preach. I find nothing in his doctrine which denies the basic principles of our faith.
Rabbi, we fail to understand the meaning of many of your sayings.
For instance, there are witnesses who say that you claim that you could destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days.
No one could rebuild the temple in 3 days. What he said must have some symbolic meaning. Come.
I'm sure I heard him say he could rebuild it again in 2 days.
3 days, 4 days, you hear? Witnesses can't even agree.
How can we remember every detail? There was a riot, which Jesus himself provoked, but for which the Romans will hold us responsible.
The riot was provoked by Barabbas.
Romans don't need an excuse. We know what they have done to our people. All of us here can remember the occasion not so many years back when over 1,000 of our people were nailed to the walls of Jerusalem because there were not enough scaffolds to satisfy the Romans' lust for blood. None of us, I'm sure, wants to give any more victims to Pontius Pilate than we can prevent.
Of course not, Joseph. We're all agreed upon that. As Caiaphas has said, this is not a trial. We left our homes. We came here tonight hoping that Jesus of Nazareth would explain to us the purpose of his mission and help to heal the divisions in our community.
Brother, we have often heard that you've come to bring love and brotherhood. I beg you, bring peace to our gathering tonight.
Tell me. It has been said that you proclaimed yourself the Son of God. I ask you now, in the name of the Eternal, are you the Messiah, the Son of God?
I am. And you shall see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power of God.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
We have heard enough. Let him be taken before the procurator Pontius Pilate, in whose hands lies the final authority for trial and judgment.
See, that's not the form of prosecution that they have today. Today they have electric chairs. Back then they had the cross. That was the way of killing somebody back in those biblical times, in his day and hour. Today they do it in the courts, publicly assassinate your character, or they will put you on an electric chair. And Yahweh ben Yahweh was facing the death penalty, brothers and sisters. He was facing the death penalty. Hallelujah. And so was Robert Regier, who is AKA Judas, who stayed and lied on Yahweh ben Yahweh for money. To fit their narrative, he became a informant, got paid, went under their protection, and now today he ended up right back in prison. See, this is the type of characters that they use to listen to testify against Yahweh ben Yahweh. This dude was a known criminal. And he's proven that because he's right back in prison, brothers and sisters, doing a life sentence. Woe be unto that man who betrayed Yahweh ben Yahweh. So, there is ample evidence, however, that he regards his death on the cross of judicial murder in the U.S. courts and resurrection from the tomb of Lewisburg Penitentiary. Lewisburg Penitentiary, brothers and sisters, was known as the graveyard because this is a very, 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 very high security penitentiary. One of the worst. They say you go in here, you don't usually come back out in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Maximum security. And Yahweh ben Yahweh never had a parking ticket. He never had a record. He don't have a criminal background, a criminal history that make him a criminal. But yet his teachings, for some reason, attracted some criminals. Brothers and sisters. There's criminals in every organization. There's criminals in some of your school teachers criminals. Some of your judges was criminals. The judicial system full of criminals. You've been found criminals in all your religions. They tried to criminalize Yahweh ben Yahweh, defame Yahweh ben Yahweh, assassinate Yahweh ben Yahweh's character. The book say he was going to be, they said his graves among the wicked. Hallelujah. But he says, the resurrection from the tomb of Lewisburg Penitentiary as the necessary fulfillment of his messianic mission. I have revealed to you that the Son of Man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, YAHWEH, Bet no Sophi, YAHWEH, had to suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and scribes and be killed on the cross of judicial murder in the U.S. courts, and after 3 days rise again from the tomb of prison. Mark 8:31. Praise Yahweh. Let's back it up. He says, I have revealed to you the Son of Man. See, a lot of y'all, the Son of Man, who is Yahweh ben Yahweh, that's why they had to put Son of Man there. They didn't want to put Yahweh ben Yahweh there. But Yahweh ben Yahweh is in the scriptures. Everywhere where you see Son of God, break that down. Ben in Hebrew is Son, and God is Yahweh. So everywhere where you see Son of God, that means Ben Yahweh. So when the Son Ben Yahweh comes, as prophesied, y'all wouldn't recognize him. But it's plenty clues that point Yahweh ben Yahweh out. It's plenty clues that Yahshua ben Yosef separated himself from the Son of Man to show you about when he come. He keep talking about somebody else. That's Yahweh ben Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. That's the end of this segment. We're going to be tuning in back into this because this is going to get good. I just thought I'd open up a can of worms for y'all brothers and sisters here on my little lunch break. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh, the nation of Yahweh and the tribe of Yehuda. Yahweh love you and so do I. Praise Yahweh. Peace and blessings.